It's about 9:37 on the 22nd day of April 2013. Calvin Castine at the eastern edge of Champlain Street in the village of Rouses Point. Business is kind of slow, I would guess, at the Stewart's today. Across the road, yet another devastating fire to the former Saxony bar here in Rouses Point, owned by Mark Chapman and family. Those of you who have seen some of our previous shows, Bob, Ben, and I did a tour here about 20 years ago. Gordy Little and I were here when we were talking about the Thunderbolts reunion, and we took the elevator in that area there up to the third floor studios where Mark Chapman had a recording studio. His apartment is up there, his family apartment. We first became aware of this fire when we threw on our computer this morning around 7 a.m. and checking our Facebook for overnight messages, and there were photos of this fire that occurred overnight in the middle of the night. We're going to try to get a few more details and pass them along as part of this presentation. We have heard through the social media that Mark and his family were able to get out. What we heard was they were barely able to get out, but that they are okay, but they have pretty much lost everything. So yet another tragic event here at the corner of Lake Street and Champlain Street, but tragic in the sense of a building loss, fortunate in the fact that there are no lives lost in this fire here on this April 22nd, 2013. We're going to change our angle. Unofficially, we've heard that as many as 13 fire departments were here throughout the night battling this blaze. There's still many departments here represented. Rouses Point has their own aerial truck, but here's a ladder, aerial ladder from District 3. Chatting with Bruce Seguin over that way from the fire department, and he said call came through about 1:30 this morning. And at this point in time, there's still a hot spot on one of the floors, and they're trying to get rid of that hot spot. We will try to find somebody that might have time to talk with us, but obviously they're still very much involved with this structure fire and making sure it's out. In addition to District 3, we also see St. Paul is here from north of the border. St. Paul, of course, we saw the ladder truck when the Patriot flag arrived here a couple of years ago, and it hung from the St. Paul and the Rouses Point Fire Department aerial ladder trucks. Bruce did tell us that my brother-in-law Ben Arnold was here and took a lot of photos, so we'll try to get access to those photos. We can share them with you. We are now on the lake side of the Saxony, one time known as the Windsor Hotel. The history of this place goes back well over 100 years. It's been the site of several fires over the years. In fact, in today's Press Republican and a 25-year look back there, referring to cleanup of this site from what they call the fire in 1984. I would have to shake out my memory banks to remember the 84 fire. I do recall one a little later than that. There's construction through here. Mark Chapman has done an awful lot of work refurbishing this building. He had really done a great job in the last few years to get this place back so it looked like an asset to the community, and this has got to be very devastating to Mark and his family, but it's good at this point to know that nobody was injured in this fire. We were told that Assistant Fire Chief Walter Laramie was the first one on scene, so he is in charge. Not sure if he'll have time to chat with us, or if we'll have maybe a representative from the county who might be able to tell us a little bit about what they know at this point. I'm assuming that these are individual apartments. If not active, they were intended to become individual apartments. And of course, I'm sure you've spotted the fact that we can see the sky through what used to be the ceiling and roof here. We're imposing very briefly here on our friend Mark Chapman, the owner of the Saxony. Mark, what time were you awakened, or what happened? How'd you?
Well, actually, my stepdaughter was alerted by the sirens coming down from Champlain, and it was probably 1:30, and she screamed, and I woke up, and my wife woke up, and we got out of there quickly.
So the fire was discovered by others before you?
Yes, yeah, and where it happened was the motor at the top of the elevator shaft had shorted out.
Oh, wow.
And that's where the fire started, right up there, and it just went right down through the shaft.
It just, like a chimney, the fire had a way to get to the other floors through that shaft.
Yeah. I'm lucky that they were able to put it out like they did. I mean, they did a good job considering how much fire was there.
So it was pretty much along by the time you woke up then?
Well, when we came out and went into the elevator shaft, we went down by the stairwell. It just was on fire at the top where the motor was.
Okay, just up there.
It spread very quickly after that.
So how many, is it just you and your family living there right now?
Yeah, there were three of us.
Okay, now I noticed you're fixing up apartments down here.
Yes, I just got my permits to do that. So I don't know what's going to happen. They'll have to inspect the building, and maybe there's a possibility of shearing off that top floor and putting a roof over the rest of it. I don't know at this point.
I've heard through Facebook that you, at this point, speculation is that you pretty much lost just about everything you have in there, right?
All that recording equipment, I'm afraid so. They're going to let me know in a few minutes whether I can go up inside and take a look around. And if I can, then I'm going to walk through the floor and try to get my car keys and my teeth. I need my teeth.
So at this point, all you've got is the clothes on your back.
That's it. Yes. I didn't even have that. My daughter's boyfriend brought me this. I got my pants on. That was it.
Just advanced, wow.
Yeah, I was lucky to get out with all of us without any injuries. I've already been to the medical center and they checked me out and said I'm okay, so I feel fortunate.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate, but the fortunate thing is that there's nobody lost a life.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's been a series of things, with bad luck since December when I lost my tenant David downstairs. He died of a heart attack. He was only 58 years old, and since then, seems like things have gotten worse, unfortunately.
Well, again, no loss of life.
No
So it
loss.
looks like down below, the last couple of floors at least.
It looks like there's water damage, but it looks like there's a possibility that they can be salvaged.
And utilized.
I'll know better when they inspect the building.
But you have certainly put a lot of work into seeing what we've seen here in the last couple of years.
A lot of work. It was, I was feeling really good about the way things were going. Finally we getting things together and got the permits and all that. So I'll just have to see what happens in the future. I don't know right now.
Obviously, at this point in time, so you've been up all night. Where have you been? Where'd you sit up
Well,
there?
you went to the ambulance first, and Red Cross came up, and I appreciate all the help that they did. Everyone's been really very nice. The fire department, everyone, and I want to say a word of thanks to everyone for what they did. And I'm just looking to the future and hoping everything will turn itself around.
Yeah, that's all you can hope for at this point.
That's it.
Yeah. So, you said you went to the medical center to
Check my blood pressure. It was really high.
How'd you
when
get
I
there?
left.
Did they bring you, or how'd you get there?
My daughter.
Oh, okay.
My daughter brought me up. Yeah. So my blood pressure's back down close to normal. It won't be at normal.
No,
for a while.
I don't imagine. No. And you'll be reliving this tonight when you're able to finally get some sleep.
Exactly.
You won't be able to sleep in too good.
No, I'm just going to have to make contingent plans now as to what to do. I'm trying to get permission to turn the power back on so my RV in the back, I can live out of that.
You got that, yeah.
So he's going to let me know as soon as
Okay, tell me.
We got Walt Laramie coming over.
There's no fire damage on your floor to any of the contents. There's a lot of water damage. There's a lot of smoke damage. But like, you get back in there when we think it's safe. We'll crawl in there. We'll be able to get your keys.
Oh, wonderful.
Mike says that there's magazines, but the cover's still intact on the floor.
Oh, that's amazing.
So yeah, there's some stuff in there that you'll be able to salvage.
That's great.
Can't guarantee a lot, but there's some stuff in there. Most of the fire was in the attic. It dropped down onto your floor, but that's where most of the fire was.
The studio area there.
Okay, we'll let them have their conversation, but Walt Laramie pointing out that things are relatively not all destroyed, that there is some hope for Mark and his family. They've obviously been up there and sifting through there, the fire department, looking for hot spots. And they're still not 100% sure on that motor part, but that's their best guess at this point. But they'll get the determination on that, and of course that elevator motor. That's how Gordy Little and I got up there that last time. That little elevator trip was an experience in itself, and it's a good thing that Mark and his family were able to escape down the stairway. So, Walt, anything you got time to talk to us just for a second or two?
Sure.
You've been here since what?
Since the beginning. It must have been 1:30, 2 o'clock, something like that.
Now it's chilly out here. Here you are. You got your shirt, just a little T-shirt on underneath your jacket, with your jacket wide open. Are you numb or what?
I'm numb. I just have to keep my head clean, covered.
So you're the fireman in charge?
I'm the first assistant. I was
First said you were the first one here.
First one here, and I was the first one to start calling for help. Let's put it that way. So I got it.
Mark told us that until his stepdaughter heard the sirens, they didn't know that there was a fire.
It was reported by a passerby, and by the time I started yelling "Mark, Mark, Mark," they were already down in their car. I was never so glad to see somebody in my life.
You know, that passerby just probably saved their lives.
If he hadn't seen the fire, they wouldn't have known about it, because like I said, they heard the sirens.
Yeah. Well,
So you must be pretty busy here. Well, you got 13 departments, I heard.
See, we got 4 from Quebec, we got 2 from Vermont, and we got 5 from New York. So yeah, that's what, 5 for 9, 11.
11. Okay. I heard you say that there's some good news in here, that some of that did not destroyed as might have been anticipated up there.
Yeah, I thought that there was more fire damage actually on the 4th floor than there is. Apparently what was burning on the 4th floor was the debris from the attic that fell in. A lot of the contents, they're going to be damaged. They're going to be severe damage from water and smoke, but there's stuff that, like car keys and stuff that is not going to be affected by water and smoke that can be cleaned. Yeah, it's salvageable. Clothing, probably not. It's that stuff gets that smell in, and you never get rid of it.
Now, with water damage, that seeps right through to the bottom floor.
We had water damage right down through. We've had to cut holes in the 2nd and the 3rd floor just to drain the water off, get pressure off those floors.
Well, Mark gets a lot of work ahead of him, and it's too bad because Mark has really put a lot of effort into it.
He's put a tremendous amount of effort into it. I mean, for years it didn't look that pretty. He's done a tremendous amount of work putting siding on it. He had his permits already to put some apartments in. It's a tremendous loss, and that's also, I mean, the potential loss that he's probably looking at in his recording studio, and all those personal memories of his time with a band and everything. That's a loss that you can't replace.
No, he's got all that. Not just the equipment, it's also the recordings that I'm sure he had.
Exactly, because he had masters for just about everything. How much damage there is to that, we don't know.
He's remarkably calm. I commend Mark for that. He looks very calm at this point. I don't think I would be at this point. But
yeah, looks can be deceiving, but he's doing quite well.
He said he went to the medical center and they checked him out. And
I'm glad he did that, because we advised him it might be a good idea, and I'm glad he did.
Yeah. Okay. Now, just a personal note here. I used to work with a guy named Walt Laramie at Sheridan Ironworks, and he was very heavy in the fire department. So being involved in it's kind of in your blood, isn't it, Walter Jr.?
It's kind of not quite junior, but it's in the blood. I've been doing it since I was 19 years old. So yeah, and we don't necessarily have to go back how long ago.
No, we won't say how old you.
Let's put it this way.
How long ago you were 19?
I had a break for about 4 years while I was living in Montreal, but I've been doing this now for about 46 years.
So let's see, 50 and 19. We won't get into exactly
62. That's when I started.
Yeah,
that's when I started. Oh yeah, I'm a few years more than that, but anyway.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks, Walt. I hope you'll be able to get some relief. Any idea when you'll be able to pack up? I see some of you guys are. All guys are.
Oh, in case you see a bad thing about St. Paul.
Merci pour l'attention. It's we'll probably be out of here in an hour or so. We're just going to have to go through, make absolutely sure that we've got nothing smoldering. We don't want to come back. And
the breeze is steady.
The breeze is very steady. If this had happened on Friday, we would.
With the wind?
I don't know. It would have been an absolute disaster.
Yeah, and it would have spread too.
And there's a very good chance if it had that wind that we would have had a severe jeopardy of life. It's I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you taking time to chat with us, and I hope you'll be able to get some rest.
And just a safety, I don't know whether they were in there or not, and they just didn't hear them. But I'd like to emphasize, if the first they knew there was a fire was when they heard the sirens, that's too late.
You need those smoke alarms.
You need those smoke alarms.
Yeah, definitely. Check your batteries.
Check your batteries, exactly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Walt. All right, that's Walt Laramie, and he's the fireman in charge, or whatever the exact title is here. They are starting to pack up a little bit, which is good news. It's now about 7 after 10 on this morning of the 22nd, a Monday in 2013. This is the west side of the Saxony, and this is the area where the fire is believed to have originated.
and it was able to move its way down through this elevator area. And of course, again, the Saxony recording studio was right around in there, and a lot of memories are there, and we're hoping that Mark is able to salvage them. They're looking to be able to get keys to his motorhome and maybe drive his motorhome out. These firemen not only put out fires, they also help with help the families out too. What an effort right here. There's Mark in the back, and he's hoping to be able to move into his motorhome for a day or two, just to be able to have a roof over his head without imposing on someone. So these firefighters from, I say firemen, but of course it's firefighters, men and women, are responding to this in the middle of the night, and they are still here 8+ hours later, and still willing to do whatever it takes to help Mark out. So we can't say enough about the people who work in our emergency squads and fire departments throughout the whole North Country. And as Mark said, it's not just, Laramie said, it's not just our New York people. We had fire departments from Quebec, two from Vermont, and a bunch from the New York side. So it's a mutual aid call goes out. People from throughout the area respond in a big way. We're now a couple miles west of Rouses Point at Mason's Corners, where Mason Road, Route 276 and Route 11 converge, and the arrow has been sending folks to the 276 route, avoiding Rouses Point. This will be coming down very shortly, I'm sure. And of course this road goes to Northeastern Clinton Central School, for those of you who are semi-familiar with the area. Ben Carno is currently out of town. We hope to catch up with him later today and get access to those photos. We will be putting up probably this first portion to the internet as quickly as possible, and then hopefully adding to it the photos that Ben and Arnold took throughout the night. Our apologies for the audio portion of that segment we just showed from Route 11. Our plug-in microphone had become unplugged without our knowledge, and the sound was a little hard to hear. This is a series of photos sent to us by Rouses Point Fire Department Auxiliary Member Brian Smith. He says the ones in dark that we're going to be seeing here were taken about 3 a.m. So this is the early part of the firefighting efforts. You can see the flames coming from the 4th floor. We have a series of photos here. We'll advance on our computer, and now we really see some flames coming out. This would be the District 3 ladder truck, I believe. I believe the Rouses Point ladder truck was in the parking lot, and St. Paul was on Champlain Street. On Route 11, or 9B actually at that point. So once it reaches the Saxony, Route 11 follows So we'll call it Lake Street, I guess. There's a group of firefighters. A lot of smoke and flames coming out. A ladder truck again from Lake Street attacking it. Or actually, this might be a view from... This might be a view from Champlain Street. No, it's not. It's looking across from the corner of the Stewarts. This is the northeastern corner of the Saxony that we're looking at right here, with the flames coming out of the southeastern part of the building. The ladder truck. Firefighters attacking this. There was a steady breeze, not as strong as we've had in recent times, but we've had a steady breeze throughout their efforts to control this. And you can see why it was considered a good save with this kind of a fire going on. This is a good save. It took a lot of effort, a lot of firefighters, and a lot of departments to make this save. There's a view a little further back, again in that Stewart's area on the corner of Champlain and Lake Streets. A very good view of the efforts that were going on. A close-up of some of the firefighters. Another view from further back. And when you look at these, you can see it's amazing that they were able to save this building. There's some flames coming out. A lot of heavy smoke. You can see 4 or 5 hoses coming from Lake Street attacking this fire. And here's some scenes from later on in the morning hours. The firefighters put in a long day starting in the middle of the night. Coming not just from Rouses Point, but from the surrounding communities. There's Sally Smith and Kim LePan, auxiliary members helping out, keeping these firefighters with food and beverages so they can sustain their energy. A rescue truck from north of the border. And you can see the water on the street with the street sign, Champlain. So this is the corner of Champlain and Lake Street. 9B is behind the fire truck. Route 11 turns here or starts here, depending on what your thoughts are on that, whether Route 11 goes to the bridge or not. But this is where Lake Street meets Champlain Street. And this is back to the first picture that we saw from Brian Smith. So we all appreciate Brian Smith taking time to send us these photos via Facebook.